Haruto said his goodbyes to his family as he was about to leave for the capital, but Gold noticed that Lisa was restless because Haruto had hidden her tail and ears with his magic. Flay was depressed because Lisa was chosen to be Haruto's attendant instead of her, while Char cheered him on, thinking that he was really going to fight an evil organization. Marion excitedly informed Laius that Haruto was on his way to the capital after she received the letter from Gold. Laius said that she didn't have to report everything, but it was revealed that he actually did everything so Haruto would get a recommendation letter. Although he was determined to catch up to Haruto, he realized that he couldn't even measure the gap between their strengths. So he wanted Haruto to be at the same school as him so he could find out how strong he really is. Marion thought that although he was still cocky, he had changed a lot. Laius was annoyed, so he argued that she was the one who locked herself up until Haruto was given a recommendation letter. She tried to argue that she wasn't attracted to Haruto, but she ended up making it more obvious. And Laius was speechless after seeing his sister feel embarrassed. Since they were talking about school, Laius remembered that people from a religion called Luciferist had taken control of schools. Marion explained that they were a new sect of the state religion, Mijaism, that had radical beliefs like worshipping the devil, and their influence had spread throughout the country, not just the schools. Then she also said that there were rumors that they were trying to overthrow the monarchy, but the nobles chose to join them, which also increased their source of funds. And Laius had heard that their mother also funded this religion. They couldn't understand what she was trying to do, but they were certain that her actions had started to become extreme 5 years ago, when she got the collar on her neck. Laius had no idea who put it on her, and she also refused to tell him. And because of her extreme actions, he even started to fear her, and he was worried that she was actually trying to take down their father. They had no idea what they should do, but Marion had the feeling that Haruto would be the one to change their situation. They did not know the limit of his power, but she had the feeling that he was strong enough to even overthrow an entire organization. Because they were talking about Haruto, Lois remembered Black Knight, the ally of justice in Zenfi's territory who was even strong enough to take down a dragon, and he thought that the issue would be solved if they asked for his help. However, the queen suddenly entered the room. The two nervously greeted her, but she suddenly choked Marion when she noticed that she glanced at her collar. While tightening her grip, she asked Marion if she was laughing at her, thinking that she looked strange and pathetic. Marion begged her to stop, but she only released her when Laius stopped her, and she brushed everything off as a joke. Afterwards, she told Laius to get as much information about the Black Knight as possible from Haruto. Because of this, he thought that he had accidentally dragged Haruto into a terrible situation, and he could only feel guilty about it. After getting far enough from their castle, Haruto returned to his rest house, as he didn't actually need to travel using the carriage since he had already installed a teleportation door near the capital. He just lazed around, waiting for the day that he was supposed to arrive in the capital. Flay was still begging him to bring her as his attendant instead, which he refused, so Char had to console her and remind her that they still had something they needed to do. Then she told Haruto to leave everything to him and focus on his duties at the capital, and she didn't forget to tell him to be careful before he left. Haruto and Lisa teleported inside a forest near the capital, as this was the only place where he could hide the teleportation door. While looking at the capital's direction, Haruto thought that they had to walk to avoid attracting attention. However, Lisa noticed that a carriage was being chased by an evil bison. He thought he could just ignore the situation, but he was certain that it would be a problem if Char found out about it, so he had no choice but to transform into the Black Knight and help. While invisible, Haruto saved the kid who was thrown out of the carriage, but he decided to observe the situation first as there seemed to be a powerful girl among the group. The girl managed to stop the bison's charge, but it threw her into the air, and she was defenseless after receiving some injuries. So Haruto finally decided to take action and stomped the bison in the head, and it immediately lost consciousness. The girl asked who he was, but she wondered if she should thank him first, so Haruto thought that something was wrong with her head, before saying that people would normally express their gratitude first. Then he healed her injuries after seeing that she was in pain. The girl was surprised. She noticed that it was Haruto who healed her, but she got curious since his magic was different from a normal healing spell. At the same time, the kid asked her if she was alright before thanking Haruto for saving them. Haruto felt shy, but he introduced himself as the enforcer of justice, Schwa, and the kid thought he was cool, although the other people fell into silence instead. Afterwards, Haruto used his magic to repair the carriage, so the girl was even more amazed by him, thinking that he could do anything. Haruto asked why they were using a shabby cargo carriage, so the girl explained that it was a horse bus and people who didn't have much money used it. Then she apologized that they couldn't reward him with any money. Haruto said that it was alright since an ally of justice doesn't seek any compensation, but the girl was determined to reward him next time. Afterwards, Haruto decided to leave while bringing the bison, planning to return it to its herd since it didn't really try to attack him. She was amazed by his kindness, and she thought it would be nice if more people thought like him. Then she asked if they would meet again. Lisa and Haruto fed the bison before releasing it into the forest. Afterwards, the two walked towards the capital. Lisa thought that the woman was weird, as she could feel something strange from her. However, she couldn't describe it properly, and since Haruto wasn't planning to stay for long in the capital, he didn't want to get involved with her. Haruto had to endure the long queue to enter the capital, and he already felt like going home because of this. Once inside, he had to go through a huge file of documents, so he was exhausted before he could go to his room. Lisa was excited to see that attendants also had their own room, but Haruto immediately opened a teleportation door connected to his house as he couldn't feel at home in the room at all. Char and Flay welcomed his return, but he immediately lay on the couch, thinking that it was best to stay at home. Afterwards, he asked Flay to prepare something for him. Flay was excited, and she was determined to make something delicious for him. However, Char suggested that they go to a restaurant in the capital instead. Haruto was hesitant to agree, so Flay also suggested staying inside the house with determination. But Char convinced her, and she also suggested going out instead, and Haruto just felt amazed that Char had Flay wrapped around her little finger. Char was prepared. She made Flay cosplay to hide that she was a demon, but it just made it even more obvious, so Haruto used his magic to hide her ears and tail, similar to what he did for Lisa. Char and Lisa were amazed with all the shops surrounding them, while Haruto was surprised with how lively the town was. Then they happily ate at a restaurant that Char had chosen. After their meal, Char took out a map and assigned both Lisa and Flay to check one district of the city each, while she and Haruto checked one district together. She said that their goal was to check that the city's layout was accurate, and then she reminded everyone to be discreet and avoid making a fuss. After Lisa and Flay had left, Char told Haruto that they were on a date. Haruto was nervous, but he was certain that Char had just seen it on anime, and he thought that she didn't really know what it meant. He realized that it was his first date since he didn't have any experience in his previous life either, but he wanted to accompany her as best as he could. The two happily checked out the town before stopping by a small jewelry shop. Char saw a necklace she liked, and Haruto bought it right away, showing how much he spoils his little sister. Afterwards, they went to the town fountain, where Char accidentally bumped into the girl that Haruto had previously saved. The girl realized that Haruto was the Black Knight because of his enormous magic power. However, since she didn't really see his face previously, Haruto denied it before saying that his magic level was only 2, so it was offensive to call it enormous. The girl couldn't believe it, so Haruto emphasized that he wouldn't lie about something really shameful. She apologized for souring Haruto's mood, and she left for her interview when he reminded her that she was in a hurry. Haruto told Char that they should also leave. However, Char continued staring at the girl before saying that she gave her a strange feeling. And although she couldn't describe it, she thought that the girl felt different from a normal person. Because of this, Haruto remembered that Lisa said the same thing, and he wondered if demons and people with high magic like Char could feel something. But he still refused to get involved with the girl, and he only wants to laze around until the entrance ceremony. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and please subscribe so you won't miss the next part. And just comment down any anime you want to see in this channel.